I have my next nominator, I should say, in studio with me this morning, because I'm delighted to welcome Laura Fitzpatrick, who's into studio this morning to talk about the person that she has nominated. The person she's nominated is Jack Fitzpatrick, who works with St. Mary's of the Angels Parents and Relatives Association. And Laura, good morning to you, and thanks for coming in.
Good morning.
Okay, I'll get you first of all to read out your nomination.
Okay, perfect. Dear Sir, Madame, we wish to nominate on behalf of our brother Bernard, our father Jack Fitzpatrick, for the Kerry Hero 2019 Awards. In 2016, we received the very upsetting news that our brother Bernard's home from home since he was 5 years old at St. Mary the Angels Beaufort was deemed for closure, as part of a national policy called Time to Move On from Congregation Settings. A policy which deemed people like our brother, who have profound intellectual and physical disabilities, to now be ordinary people living ordinary lives in ordinary places. But our brother and those like him aren't ordinary, they are extraordinary, and deserve to live in extraordinary places with specialised care and facilities such as St. Mary the Angels. A meeting soon ensued in which we attended alongside other many upset and elderly parents, in a total panic on what the future now held for their adult children. This special home to 77 people was suddenly about to be disbanded. Everybody would be split up into different houses and relocated around the county, away from all their amenities that they have on site every day at St. Mary the Angels. Our dad called for a public meeting in Clorglan CYMS Hall, and more than 500 people showed their in support. RT's Pascal Sheehy did a news coverage of this meeting, and soon our plight was nationwide. All the while, our dad spearheaded this campaign and formed a Parents and Relatives Association, raising over 400,000 to improve and maintain St. Mary the Angels, upkeeping the premises and maintaining it to HICWA standards, thus also ensuring its future. Dad also secured the association's place 2 years in a row as a chosen charity for the Ring a Kerry cycle, bringing in more funds. Dad fearlessly met with HSE officials, HICWA, Inclusion Ireland, St. John of God head departments, along with various news and media outlets, just to name a few. All this hard work and brave action from our father resulted in our brother's home at St. Mary the Angels Beaufort being the only residential centre in Ireland to receive a written undertaking from the HSE that no resident will move out of St. Mary the Angels against their will, and residents will only move if they and their family members agree that it's in their best interests. St. Mary the Angels, gifted to the Franciscan Sisters from the Doyle family to care for the special needs people of Kerry back in 1964, opened in 1968, was now safe again. St. Mary the Angels is the pride of Kerry. Our dad ran a very successful campaign in order to not only save this home for our brother, but for the 70 plus others who reside there today. This is why it is so important that we nominate our dad for his outstanding courage, vision and leadership. Kind regards, Jack's daughters, Laura, Lynn, Trina and Vicky, on behalf of Bernard.
Okay, Laura, and you sent in some pictures as well of Bernard at his home in St. Mary's Angels. Well written and well enunciated. On the line from Lapland with his grandchildren.
You're never too old.
Is Jack Fitzpatrick. Jack, good morning to you.
Good morning, Jerry, and good morning to all your listeners, and good morning to Laura. That was a fabulous letter, Laura. Thank you very much.
You're
I'm humbled by it.
You're welcome.
Jack, when you look back at it now, I suppose it was a lot of work at the time, but you and the association, I suppose, just sprang into action.
Well, I suppose really, Jerry, to be fair, I am really, I suppose, the voice maybe and the face that's seen of the association, but there's a lot of very, very good people who are equally deserving of an award for the way they've stuck in there, through thick and thin for the last nearly 5 years now, And I'd just like to commend them as well. The members of the association have been so wonderful, and my own family, where they're so dedicated to Bernard, it's just unbelievable.
Tell me about, I suppose, the journey that you went on from the time of that meeting, from all that had to be done, the groups you had to meet, as Laura was talking about there, and the fundraising you had to do to make this situation a reality, that it stays open and will stay open and meets those exacting standards.
Well, I suppose really what it proved to me, Jerry, from the very start was, that people power, in spite of everything that's happening, people power is just amazing. And I remember when it was first announced, I asked the other parents not to say anything until we just announced it as loudly as we could once off. And I remember I got on the radio with yourself, and in the same week we had it in the Cockney Examiner, the Kerry and the Kingdom and all the newspapers. And there was such an impact, really, like that the public, all of the people of Kerry just were outraged by what was being done, and they came in behind us, and really that was our main strength, really. And I'd have to say the county councillors, they voted unanimously to write to the HSE and demand that the place be kept open, you know.
Yeah.
So all that was a great thing. And then when we had our public meeting in Glasgow, there was such an outpouring of anger, I suppose, really, at the thought of closing down that wonderful place, you know.
Yeah.
So
Laura,
that all.
That all, I suppose, fueled the action that was taken over the next couple of months to make it happen. Laura, it was a very worrying time for you as a family.
Yeah, it was horrible. I think even that first meeting where it was kind of officially announced, I guess, I've never sat in a room with so many people that you would just feel such fear and anxiety. And I mean, a lot of the parents were in their late 70s, 80s, and it was just total helplessness. And I think everyone was too frightened to be that strong at the time. So it's just then when Dad came forward, he kind of gave them all strength, and they, you know, all followed suit then, and it was really good. Yeah,
because there's, and we through the day-to-day of this programme, we've addressed this issue in a whole range of areas to do with people with disabilities, mental and physical. That is a worry for a lot of people. When parents who have been caring for their loved ones for years, or have been supporting institutions like this who care for their loved ones for years, their big worry is what happens when I'm no longer there.
Definitely.
And that's the big thing.
As well as other residential centres in Ireland are contacting us for help. There's also settings in America and Australia, and families from there that know about us and that are trying to follow us because it has been so unsuccessful there when it has happened, that they're trying to stop the other places from closing there now. So they're actually, people worldwide now know about St Mary the Angels, know about our campaign, and are getting in touch with us for advice and things. So
yeah. Well, listen, look, Jack, I want to congratulate you again, and thanks very much for taking the call this morning. I'm going to hand over your beautiful piece of Louis Mulcahy handmade pottery to Laura on your behalf. She's the one that got you into this trouble this morning by nominating you. But look, thanks, and safe home, safe travels.
Thanks very much, Jerry.
That's your Christmas present now, Dad, as well. So.
Thanks very much, Laura.
Very good. There you go, Laura. Look, I'll make the official presentation. That's the certificate there, and the beautiful piece of Louis Mulcahy pottery.